Warbirds have always captured the imagination of aviation enthusiasts, symbols of courage, history, and raw mechanical beauty. But here's the surprise. Owning one doesn't always take a millionaire's fortune. Hidden within the world of historic military aircraft are remarkable machines that remain surprisingly affordable to private collectors, pilots, and restorers. While these aircraft may lack the power or scale of iconic combat fighters, they still carry genuine wartime heritage and deliver an authentic flying experience steeped in history. With that in mind, let's explore 7 incredibly affordable warbirds you can actually own, even with $50,000. The Aeronca L-3 Grasshopper, another light liaison and observation aircraft of World War II, was developed from the pre-war Aeronca Defender. Initially designated the O-58, it became the L-3 in 1942, used primarily for artillery spotting, reconnaissance, courier flights, and liaison pilot training. Its slow speed and short takeoff capability made it ideal for rough frontline airstrips. The L-3 featured tandem seating for 2 and was powered by a Continental O-170 engine producing 65 horsepower. It had a 35-foot wingspan, a 21-foot length, and an empty weight just over 800 pounds, with a maximum takeoff weight near 1,300 pounds. With a top speed of 87 miles per hour, a cruising speed of 79 miles per hour, and a 200-mile range, it reached altitudes around 10,000 feet. After the war, many were sold as surplus. Today, restored or restorable L-3s can be found on the private market for $20,000 to $35,000, depending on condition. The Fairchild Cornell PT-19, PT-23, and PT-26 trainers were essential in pilot instruction during World War II for both U.S. and Commonwealth forces. The PT-19, introduced around 1940, featured an open cockpit and a Ranger inline engine. Due to engine shortages, the PT-23 used a 220-horsepower Continental radial engine, while the PT-26, designed for colder climates, featured an enclosed cockpit and became a mainstay under the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan in Canada. All versions shared similar dimensions: a 36-foot wingspan, 27-foot length, empty weights around 2,000 pounds, and maximum takeoff weights near 2,740 pounds. They cruised at 100 to 115 miles per hour, reached 125 to 130 miles per hour, and had ranges of 400 to 450 miles with ceilings of up to 17,000 feet. Many survive today, though maintenance is complex due to their wood and fabric construction. Restored examples are usually priced around $45,000, while project aircraft can be found for much less. The Auster AOP9 was a British observation aircraft developed in the 1950s to replace earlier wartime Auster models. Entering service in 1955, it served with the Army Air Corps and the Royal Air Force, mainly for artillery spotting, reconnaissance, liaison duties, and light transport. It saw operational use in regions such as Malaya and Aden, where its ability to take off from short, rough airstrips made it ideal for counterinsurgency and support roles. The aircraft remained in service until the mid-1960s before helicopters and newer observation platforms replaced it. Powered by a Blackburn Cirrus Bombardier 203 engine producing 180 horsepower, the high-wing taildragger typically seated 2 to 3 people, including an observer behind the pilot. It had a wingspan of 36 feet, a length of nearly 24 feet, and a maximum takeoff weight of around 2,300 pounds. With a cruising speed of 110 miles per hour, a top speed of 127 miles per hour, and a range of 250 miles, it could reach altitudes above 18,000 feet. Today, only a handful remain in civilian hands. Restored examples are rare and typically priced from $50,000 upward, depending on condition and originality. The Taylorcraft L-2 Grasshopper was a light observation and liaison aircraft derived from the civilian Taylorcraft Model D, entering service in 1941 under the designation YO-57, later renamed the L-2. It was used during World War II for artillery spotting, short-range reconnaissance, courier work, and operations from makeshift fields. Although not built in large numbers, its low cost and simplicity made it invaluable for frontline support. Powered by a Continental O-170 flat-4 engine generating 65 horsepower, the two-seat L-2 featured a 35-foot wingspan, a 23-foot length, and a maximum takeoff weight of around 1,300 pounds. It cruised at about 80 miles per hour, reached a top speed just under 95 miles per hour, and had a service ceiling of 12,000 feet with a 200 to 300 mile range. After the war, surplus aircraft were sold for less than $1,000. Today, restored airworthy L-2s can be found between $40,000 and $60,000, depending on restoration quality. The Stinson L-5 Sentinel was one of the most widely used American liaison and observation aircraft during World War II and the Korean War. Nicknamed the Flying Jeep, it handled artillery spotting, medical evacuations, reconnaissance, courier flights, and supply runs across Europe, the Pacific, and the China-Burma-India theater. The L-5 featured a high-wing tailwheel design with tandem seating and a Lycoming 0435 engine producing 185 to 190 horsepower. Measuring 34 feet in wingspan and 24 feet in length, it had an empty weight around 1,550 pounds and a maximum takeoff weight near 2,100 pounds. It reached top speeds of about 130 miles per hour, cruised between 90 and 110 miles per hour, and offered a range of 350 to 400 miles with a ceiling around 15,800 feet. Today, fully restored examples can sell for around $120,000, though project aircraft often go for significantly less. One of the most recognizable trainers of the 1930s and 1940s, the de Havilland DH-82 Tiger Moth, was the standard basic trainer for the Royal Air Force and Commonwealth nations during World War II. First introduced in 1931 as an evolution of the Gypsy Moth, it offered improved handling and cockpit access. Over 8,000 were built, and thousands of pilots learned to fly on one. Powered by a 130-horsepower de Havilland Gypsy Major engine, the two-seat biplane featured a 29-foot wingspan, 23-foot length, and a maximum takeoff weight of 1,825 pounds. It cruised at 85 miles per hour, topped out at 109 miles per hour, and had a range of 300 miles with a ceiling of 13,600 feet. After the war, Tiger Moths became popular among flying clubs and private owners. Today, airworthy examples are typically valued between $70,000 and $120,000, though unrestored models can be found for less. The Meyers OTW, Out to Win, was an American primary trainer introduced in the late 1930s for both civilian and military pilot instruction. Designed by Alan Meyers, it was a biplane known for its strength, clean design, and smooth handling. It had tandem open cockpits, a steel tube fuselage with fabric covering, and wooden wings. Early versions used Warner radial engines producing 125 to 145 horsepower, while later models featured up to 160 horsepower. The OTW's wingspan measured about 30 feet 10 inches, its length 22 feet 8 inches, with an empty weight of roughly 1,450 pounds and a maximum takeoff weight around 2,150 pounds. It cruised at 100 to 110 miles per hour, topped out near 125 miles per hour, had a 13,000-foot ceiling, and could cover roughly 300 miles. After World War II, many were sold as surplus and later cherished by private pilots and collectors. Fewer than 100 survive today, with restored examples valued between $40,000 and over $100,000, depending on originality and airworthiness. Even decades after their last missions, these warbirds continue to inspire new generations of aviators and dreamers. Their stories remind us that flight is more than machinery, it's a piece of living history. Thank you for watching and for sharing the skies with us today.